Hey everyone, welcome to From the Depths. I'm Menti, and this is episode 119 of the Battleship Brawl Season 5 tournament. First, I want to open up by saying that the votes are in for the Zvinvoshar versus the Honestar, and the Zvinvoshar has emerged victorious in the match, and we'll be moving on to the next round of the tournament. For today's episode, we've got the Prince of Persia by Harness going up against the Polaris by Delta Force. And yes, these two ships were in the same group. They've already fought each other before, but the circumstances of battle are slightly different, so there might be a different outcome this time. So let's go ahead and get this underway. Yeah, in the main season, it was 10-minute battles, and there was no direct comparison for approval vote. In the grand finals, it's 5-minute battles, and the ships are actually competing against each other for popularity rather than just general popularity vote. And the Prince has quite the impressive volley. It's coming in. Lots of hits all over the Polaris. Polaris getting knocked down to 87% in the first volley. Wow. Yeah, those shells, they dug some holes. Prince's shells dug some holes in the Polaris, that is for sure. Oh, we've got a second volley on the way here. See how this one's doing, then we'll go check on the Prince. Just that rain of shells. Oh, managing to bring the Polaris to a stop. Oh, it was 80% sinking there for a moment. Did you see that? The force of those shells, the detonation of the shells pushed it so far down. It had a momentary 80% in sinking startup. Ooh, Prince is getting torn up in the center, which if it breaks in half, that's absolutely horrible, but that also means its guns aren't getting hit. And that's more important. Oh, see, there it is again, the Polaris, that temporary 80% in sinking, it's just getting hammered down into the water. Prince at 89%, Polaris at 78%. Just come up here, hit the high point of their arc, and then down they come. Wow, yeah, this is the worst condition we've seen the Polaris in, that's for sure. Polaris is really not doing well, but its guns are well protected, and wow, actually several of them are, wow, most of them are actually gone. I think it's hard to tell because there's smoke everywhere from the staggered firing of the guns. Can't see anything. Like all these, oh no, never mind, I thought they were gone, but they're just being from the depths guns. Like that, or they were damaged and then got changed around. Ooh, ooh, whoa, something just happened. Ooh, my game is lagging hard. I think the Prince just got broken in. Yes, it did. It got broken in half. That's why my game lagged out so hard there. Are there any Prince shells in the air? There are. So we'll let these finish. There's that one last shell coming in. Bonk. Alright, that's the end of this match. Polaris going down to 76.3%. And the Polaris getting broken in half and destroyed. things were looking really good for the Prince in the start of that match. Like, knocking out 13% of the Polaris' health in the very first volley is impressive. And like I said, if the Prince gets hit in the middle, if it breaks in half, it's an utter catastrophe. But if that doesn't happen, then its guns will survive better, and that's actually a good thing. But in that case, it got broken in half. Well, this time the Polaris is getting its volley off first. The Prince just that massive initial volley while all the guns are synced. Is just it's scary. Like all those shells just clustered. And with the homing capabilities of mortars in this version of From the Depths, it's just, oh. Polaris absolutely slammed. Lost even more HP this time than it did the first round. Prince just not taking it, not taking as bad a damage. It's because it's so thin. When it does get hit in the middle, those shells go right through it. Detonate down here and don't do a whole lot. As long as the Prince doesn't break in half. That is the key factor there. The Prince needs to not break in half, otherwise, it kind of just instantly loses. Oh, is the Polaris sinking? No. It was just again pushed down by the hits from the Prince's guns, but it stayed down there for so much longer. I thought maybe it was actually going to, stay under the water, which would have been crazy since this thing is basically just tons of reinforced wood. But in really bad shape right now, but at the same time, the Prince has already used all of its materials. That's 30,000 materials already burned in repairs. That's insane. And it also means that, getting broken in half is on the table again. Yeah, and then the Polaris just gets those good hits in and just rips out several of the Prince's guns. And oh man, the Prince is really, really close to breaking in half again. This is not connected. The only thing holding together is this middle part. Oh no, and there's shells landing in that area. Oh no. I think she's broken in half. The game just hasn't realized it. There it is. The game realized it. And there she goes, broken in half again. How is it? Oh, because the 2 damage. There we go. The 2 damage timer just went off, so now the guns will stop firing. These shells in the air. The last gasp of one of the pontoons of the Polaris here, or the Prince here. And missed. A little bit of a lateral hit. And there we go. So 83.9 for the Polaris in round 2. Man, 2 for 2 on breaking the Prince in half. I wonder if the Polaris is going to go for the trifecta here. Break the Prince in half in all 3 rounds. That'd be a pretty dominant. There's a pretty large show of dominance. That's what I'm trying to say. But, you know, words, they're hard. Who's launching first? Polaris fired slightly sooner. Prince followed shortly after. Like, wasn't even a second gap in their shots, I don't think. The Prince with those APS guns that they don't do a whole lot. They are kind of cheap, and it's cool to have them, I suppose. Oh, the Polaris just gets, again, 14.3% damage done right off the start. Those initial volleys, while the Polaris has all of its guns available, are just brutal. I wonder what's in here that merits the stone. Oh, it's just a propeller bank. I was like, why is there stone there? And another massive volley falls on the Polaris. That didn't do quite as much. I bet if the Prince had gone a little bit of kinetic damage, like the Polaris did, this could be a completely different match. You can see, the Prince is like a pure red. Like this shot right here highlights it pretty well. The Prince is like a pure red, and then the Polaris' shells are a bit kind of orange, because they have just a little bit of kinetic to them to just punch in like a block or two before they detonate. If the Prince had something like that, it might very well, you know, have the firepower to just kill the Polaris before it dies. The Prince is at 98.5% HP right now, which is the best it's done so far, but it is also about to run out of materials. And it seems like once that happens, Polaris is quick to break it in half. Oh yeah, this is not looking good for the Prince. It just ran out of materials, and it's kind of in danger of breaking in half already. Yeah, you've got this bit up here holding it together, and then a little bit in the center. It's not in critical danger of breaking in half yet, but it's definitely a worry. Longest the Prince has survived in this match, though. The Polaris is not looking so good. Granted, the Prince is worse, but where are the Polaris' remaining propellers at? Like, it clearly has none left on the stern, yet she's still moving. Oh, the Prince is down to 58%. Oof. Almost broken in half again, just this little spine here holding it together, but it doesn't matter. Polaris has 2 damaged it, even without that. Oh, actually broke it in half right at the end there. Yep, so you can see that whole pontoon just fell away all at once. Anyway, it does not look like the Prince has any shells in the air, so that is going to be the end of this round and the match with the, what was that, 75.8? Yeah, which unfortunately means that the Prince does not have enough score to catch up via the votes. So the Polaris is victorious and will be moving on to the next round. Thanks for watching, folks. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you on the battlefield.